Is this where abs are made, or are they made in here? Well, it's often said that abs are made in the kitchen, but that's not the full story. It's more complex than just saying yes, abs are made in the kitchen. And getting abs comes down to more factors than just one single one, your nutrition. And it actually comes down to 3 different factors. And failing to understand these 3 factors might lead you to not getting abs. And we both definitely don't want that. The first factor, it is indeed the kitchen. You need to be lean enough for your abs to show. And one of the best ways to get lean enough is to make sure that you are eating in a calorie deficit. I would recommend eating in about a 500 calorie deficit per day, shooting to lose about 0.5% to 1% of your body weight per week. Now, this isn't a video on how to stick to your diet, but one thing that's really gonna help you if you're going through a fat loss phase is making sure that you eat more kind of voluminous foods or less calorie dense foods. This is gonna be like salads, vegetables, lean proteins. These foods are gonna help you stay satiated throughout the day, and you're actually gonna keep eating around the same amount of volume of food, but it's gonna allow you to easier sustain this caloric deficit. And with this, I would still make sure to eat about 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight to make sure that you're still eating enough protein to make sure that you maintain all of your muscle tissue while you get leaner. The second factor is your training. Especially if you're going through a fat loss phase, it is important to just do training in general to make sure that you are maintaining all of your muscle mass while you're going through a fat loss phase. As if you just lose body weight, well, there's a good chance you'll lose both fat and muscle. So you want to train your entire body in general to make sure that the weight you lose is body fat and it's not also your muscle mass, as this will result in you just looking like a smaller version of yourself rather than actually improving your body composition and taking you closer to getting abs. But I also think that training your abs directly is going to allow you to grow that ab muscle tissue, which if your abs are a little bit larger, I think it's gonna make them pop quite a bit more when you are at that leaner stage. And I've had several clients come to me, and myself personally, I just noticed that my abs look better, and my clients do as well, when we train them directly for a extended period of time and then we get lean again, we notice that they tend to pop quite a bit better. And when it comes to training your abs, I would treat training your abs just like I would treat training any other muscle group. Meaning I would train them at least twice per week. I would train them with an effective volume level. I would make sure to do exercises in which you can progressively load your abs. And I would keep things in the 8 to 15 rep range on average and have every set that you do for your abs be pretty close to failure, within a few reps from failure. Now, I have 2 favorite exercises when it comes to training my abs. One are cable crunches here. I particularly like these because you can use the weight stack to progressively increase the load on these, just like you can with any other exercise. Plus, there's just something about these that feel really good for me. Now, when you're performing these, make sure to not bring your hips into it too much. It can be really easy to turn this exercise into just like a hip hinge exercise where you're just using your hips. Make sure that you're just hitting your rectus abdominis on these, but these are one of my favorites. And another exercise that I really like here are Bosu ball sit-ups or crunches. As for one, you can progressively load these by the higher your arms are above your head on this exercise, the more challenging it gets. So you could start out with these, keeping your hands kind of in close to your body, and then as you adapt, you can progressively work your hands higher and higher to make this more challenging. You could also hold the dumbbell or something like that in your arms, and that's gonna help these feel a lot better as well. Plus, this exercise, for whatever reason, it just feels really comfortable for me, and it allows me to really target specifically my abs. So those are my 2 favorite exercises for abs, but there's a ton of different exercises you can do, and maybe try those 2, try some other exercises, see what feels really good for you, what gets you like a really good fatigue and tension in your abs, and also exercises that you can progressively load over time. And I think that's a good recipe for an ab exercise. And the third factor is genetics. This is one that you can't control a whole lot, but there are significant differences in how different individuals' abs are structured. Some people, they just have like perfectly symmetrical abs. And they also have abs that are just kind of protruding a little bit more in their overall structure that makes them look really good. And while you have those kind of outliers, which is perfect abs, like Matt Ogus comes to mind, there's other people that they just kind of have lopsided abs and their abs seem like they are kind of sucked back a little bit further and they just generally look a bit more flat in their abdominals. However, I don't think it makes much sense to really worry about this one at all, as for one, there's not much that you can do about it anyways. And for two, most of the time when someone doesn't have abs and they're trying to get abs, the reason for it is not genetics whatsoever. And I would say like 95% of the time, it's because they are not lean enough or they haven't spent some time in the gym building up muscle mass and actually training their abs directly to make them look how they want to look when they are indeed leaner. So to get abs, kind of the two main factors that you can control are getting lean enough so your abs can show, and that's largely done through eating in a calorie deficit in the kitchen, and then also having well-developed abs so they kind of pop out a little bit more when you are leaner. And that is done in the gym. Now, another problem that people have is knowing how much to actually train in the gym. And if that is you, no worries, I got you. Click this video on the screen here. Also, clicking that subscribe button really helps me out, and I will see you in that next one.